They went to bed at Wednesday. On Thursday morning, they woke up, there was no company. This is a watershed event in cybersecurity that should not be underestimated. The attackers are not human beings anymore, but they are machines. This is what we are actually facing with Mythos and the frontier models. 60% of enterprises are going to start moving to SASE in the next 3 years. SASE is the future of network security. 7 years from now, we are not going to see that many appliances. The right SASE platforms that are built on top of a platform are going to benefit greatly from it. But now they are faced with implementing it on 5,000 appliances. Good luck to them.
Welcome to Fishing for Insight, our cybersecurity strategy and business show on RiskIntel Media. I'm very happy to have you with us. You're something of a legend in the cybersecurity industry. You created 3 unicorn Checkpoint Software technology in 1993, Imperva in 2002, and Cato Networks in 2015. And each time you successfully anticipated where the market was heading. Well, this is impressive to see.
Yes.
So cybersecurity is something that you love?
Yes, this is. I've been fortunate actually to do startups since I was 16, even before the PC.
Wow.
So it's now 44 years, and that's what I love doing. That's have been my life, and luckily I've been successful a number of times.
Yeah, and it shows. So we're going to start with something that is a little bit painful for people like you, that love cybersecurity and want to go into depth for every question, because I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you only have 3 answers.
3.
Either true, probably, and false. It's hard.
Probably.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll see.
At least you give me probably.
At least, yeah, we're nice here. So let's start with the first one. Anthropic and OpenAI will replace all cybersecurity companies and wipe out the market.
False.
Oh, cybersecurity solutions are too many.
True.
Geopolitics leads to cyber risks.
True.
All non-full cloud companies are destined to disappear in the near future.
False.
Cybercrime has never been easier.
True.
Okay, so let's start with the interview. Let's start with, for example, our audience explain exactly what is SASE and why it emerged in the cybersecurity industry.
SASE is the future of network security. Right? Security has a few big pillars like endpoint security, CrowdStrike, cloud security, say Wiz, and network security. And network security has been traditionally, started at Checkpoint with software, with Palo Alto Network as appliances, and with Cato as a cloud service. And cloud service is the form factor of network security for the future, because organizations are now everywhere, people are everywhere, agents are everywhere, applications are everywhere, appliance physical form doesn't cut it anymore. You need a much more fluid form factor, and that's SASE. And
it's something that the market needed, right?
Absolutely. In 2019, Gartner picked up on what we've started in 2015 and said, this is the future of network security. This is what the market needs. And actually recently said that 60% of enterprises are going to start moving to SASE in the next 3 years. I believe personally that 7 years from now, we are not going to see that many appliances.
Okay.
They are disappearing just as software firewalls disappeared 20 years ago, extinct, and SASE is going to replace that.
Okay, so we said it in the starter of this interview. You have a very rich experience in cybersecurity, around 40 years. So what was the worst cyber attack that you had seen in your career? And if you had the chance to go back, what would you change about the way you handled it?
I would say that the most impactful vulnerability that I've experienced in recent years was Log4j, which with one vulnerability that was published as a CVE pretty quickly, everybody on the planet was impacted.
Okay.
And that really revealed the weakness in the security. Even today, 4, 5 years later, many organizations are still vulnerable to that. And that window of opportunity between CVE and protection is something that we can't afford anymore, because the attackers are not human beings anymore, but they are machines.
Oh.
And machines, we need to close that window to zero. Otherwise, you'll get compromised. And we'll talk hopefully more about that in the future.
And is it possible to close it to zero?
Yes. For example, Cato protected all of its customers in less than 17 hours. Today, we would have done it in even less time, because we have agentic researchers that are able to take the CVE, automatically create a protection, put it in the cloud, silently test it, and then fine-tune it and deploy it to all customers. Now, imagine a customer of an appliance company. They have 5,000 appliances all over the world. They get a week after, there's one appliance company that just happened. The week after the CVE was published, they get a security solution, but now they are faced with implementing it on 5,000 appliances. Good luck to them. It's going to take months.
Okay.
And these months are not only an operational burden on them, but essentially a huge security issue in this new world that we are facing. And we are in a historical moment in security where the attack is done by machines.
And to go back to the worst cyber attack you lived, which is Log4j, you said it, would you have changed something if you were able to go back? Or you think you handled it the best you could at the time?
I think Cato did a great job. I think we hold the world record, actually, in time to implement a protection. Since then, we've prepared ourselves to a world where Log4j doesn't happen. It's the worst attack, but it's the everyday attack. Like every day you're going to get Log4j. What are you going to do as a cyber, as an enterprise? This is what we are actually facing with Mythos and the frontier models.
Yeah, we're going to go into depth into this question, but first, so I understand that Cato Networks operate its own global network infrastructure that are spread across the world. Why is it so important, I might say even critical, to own its own infrastructure?
There are multiple reasons for that. First is we want to delight the customers. And many of our customers have locations in smaller countries, in Peru, in West China, in New Zealand, all over the world. And we want to be responsive, and we can spin up a POP there very, very quickly. While if you rely on the large hyperscalers, they have few big data center nodes around the world and can't provide that service. Second, we can better engineer the network. For example, we just recently added GPUs, NVIDIA GPUs, to all of our network in order to deliver AI at the edge, AI security at the edge. If you rely on third-party networks, you can't do that. And third, it's much less expensive for us, and we can roll that to customer value.
And what are the challenges to handle at both times the software platform and physical infrastructure?
So this is the core capability that Cato brings. It brings both the networking capability and the security capability, but more than that, the combination. The combination has been the holy grail of network security since, I'm dating myself, since the early 90s, where Cisco came out with their networking devices and Check Point came out with their network security. And Cisco said, hey, let's put it together. And there were attempts throughout these 35 years to do that all failed until Cato was successful in doing that. And a lot of our IP goes into how do you provide a self-healing AI-driven cloud network that delivers robustness on the network side, but the dynamics of a security solution. So it's very difficult, and that's why we are the only company in the world that has done it.
Okay. So you were talking about Mythos, so the AI of anthroping, and obviously we're going to talk about it because, well, it spread a lot of fears into the cybersecurity community. So from what we heard, it promises to unveil and uncover a certain number of vulnerabilities. Some experts even say it's a tsunami of vulnerabilities to come. What do you think about it?
I think this is a watershed event in cybersecurity that should not be underestimated. But it shouldn't be tied to Mythos, because it's not Mythos. It's Mythos, it's Daybreak, it's the open source Chinese models that, based on people within Anthropic, are only 4 months behind them.
Okay.
So Mythos or no Mythos, this is coming. You know, like a month or 2 months ago, the Mexican government was hit by a huge agentic attack that stole lots of data, very successful attack, unfortunately. So this is coming, and we need to look at it in a broader way as a complete revolution of the threat landscape, and requires a refactoring of the security threat defenses. And I can talk a little bit about what is the refactoring that is needed.
Well, what you're saying is we're not going to be able to not leave it. It's coming. We're going to have to do it. So will it affect, for example, SASE platforms?
Actually, the right SASE platforms that are built on top of a platform are going to benefit greatly from that, a network and a platform. Not all offerings out there that are called SASE actually are network-based and platform-based. And these are becoming critical not only from the core values that SASE offered always, and these core values were more economical. It's better operational model, better business agility. Now with the AI threat landscape, it is going straight into the jugular of can you deliver the right security over that architecture. So architecture becomes key to be able to fend off this type of threat landscape.
Okay. I also saw that you recently acquired AIM Security in 2025, which is a startup specialized in securing generative AI and agentic AI. So as I said, you seem to see a little bit how the market is working and to have a preview on it. So why did you choose to buy this kind of company?
Because we believed back then, and it's absolutely proves to be correct, that AI governance, the other side of AI, organizations are implementing. All over the world, organizations are now doing this AI transformation in order to become more efficient and in order to survive in this new ecosystem. Either you adapt, like Darwinism, either you adapt or get extinct. So everybody needs to adapt. Everybody needs to transform their organization for AI. And security is a key enabler to that. You have to secure that AI transformation because it has critical workflows. It touches the most critical elements in the organization. And AIM had the best platform to do that. We converged it into Cato, and now we offer it broadly to the market. We are seeing tremendous pull from the market. I haven't seen something like this in decades.
It's very interesting when you say it's like a Darwinism, either you adapt. Or you die. When we talk with people that are not in cybersecurity or IT, majority of people, you have two sides of two waves of seeing AI. The people that see a lot of efficiency through it, and the people that are very afraid and reluctant. In the cybersecurity world, would you say that people are reluctant to agentic AI, or are they welcoming it?
I think that there's broad understanding that it's a must, and we are seeing a lot of innovation around that. And I believe that what we've acquired and developed and converged is at the forefront of that.
So agentic AI will change the way we do cybersecurity?
absolutely. I think this is going to completely transform the entire security stack and create a new one.
Okay, so get on board, people.
Oh, yeah.
So I recently spoke with the CISO of a 2,000 employee company, and he recently had a ransomware attack. And usually when you have a ransomware or any cybersecurity attack, you have a little bit more budget. So they have some budget to put on cybersecurity tools. And they thought about implementing a project in SASE. However, he had a little bit of reluctancy from their team because they didn't know if it was the right time to do it after a crisis. So for you, when do you think it's good to put up a SASE project after a crisis?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible, no time. Okay.
Better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah.
But if not proactive, then as soon as possible as a reactive move.
And so, how could you, for example, work with their team to implement it?
So I'll give you an example of a customer called Hefele. And they got, it's a public, it's on our website, and they got attacked by a malware, a ransomware, which it's a 100-year-old company, 150 locations around the world, 50 countries, manufacturer, supplier to IKEA, etc. They went to bed at Wednesday. On Thursday morning, they woke up, there was no company.
Oh.
Like everything was wiped out. And the CEO called me and said, we don't have a contract, but we need help. So we kind of rallied up and helped them. And in less than 4 weeks, we've rebuilt their entire network and network security and remote access infrastructure across 50 countries, 150 locations. And that's the type of technology that we bring that is able to do that. This is an extreme case of
but it's a true one. It exists.
Ransomware, and today, they are now an AI security customer and very happy and safe.
Okay. So as soon as possible, nothing as today.
Yeah.
So in SASE project, the most stressful moment is usually the cutover phase. So redirecting traffic, replacing our equipment, risking application performance. Many CISO call it the high-risk weekend. In practice, what most commonly goes wrong during this week?
I have to tell you that we've done this. We've passed this week and many similar weeks with more than 5,000 enterprise customers, and it's a smooth process with us. And because again the architecture is built for an exceptional day one experience. And you can do it very gradually. You can do it side by side. So it really depends what tool are you using in that weekend. If you're using the right tool, then things should go smoothly.
Okay. And I understood also that after the deployment, some team discover what they like to call operational debt, which is old rule. They don't understand hidden dependencies, lost visibility on certain flow. So in this environment that you see, what unexpected issues typically surface?
Post deployment. I think post deployment, many times you get more visibility than you had before. And there's always a shadow world lurking below what you know. And a good CISO is a CISO that wants to discover it. Not all CISOs always want to know what's going on, because then they need to handle it. And visibility is the first step. So after you put it, suddenly you get a picture of, hey, I've got 100 agentic applications running on my network I didn't know about. People are using private instances of ChatGPT and sends customer data there to get responses, asking how much my boss makes. So that type of visibility opens a journey. I wanted to use that word, but interesting. It opens a journey of addressing it.
Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, you founded 3 unicorns, but you also were an early investor in Cato Networks. So, clearly, you are managing to anticipate market in a very, very accurate way. How do you do it?
Perhaps it will sound, when somebody has a capability that is very innate, that is very natural to them, it's hard to answer that question because it's part of who I am, right? So I don't understand how everybody else don't see it.
You feel it?
It's part of my being.
Okay.
Right.
What do you think about quantum computing? It's a very hot topic. We talked a lot about it in 2025, a little bit less in 2026, but I want your input.
So I think that from a cybersecurity perspective, I guess the question comes from that angle where it's important to start replacing the ciphers because recently there has been a few developments that make practical quantum computing much closer than people think. So, quantum resistant ciphers replace everywhere. I even see now startups that are doing the management and orchestration of that process in very large organizations, which is important. So I think it's closer than what most people think in terms of reaching an effective computer.
I think you're right. I interviewed a lot of experts, and it's a topic that they are a little bit anxious about because they need to prepare it. It's coming faster than they thought. And I think the fact that they're talking about it is something that might give us some insights about the fact that it's coming. So finally, this is our last question. What are the 3 most promising future technologies in cybersecurity that you are the most excited about?
AI, and AI.
Wow. Okay, so as I said, you need to get on board, people. AI is the future. Well, thank you very much, Shlomo. It was so interesting to talk about you, about cybersecurity, about SASE, and I hope maybe we have you again on our show.
It will be my pleasure.
Thank you.